I'll stop dancing, but guess who's back? I know that I've not been here for a bit. I apologize. I'm grateful to you guys that checked up on me. Thank you for your messages. Thank you for your words of encouragement. I love you guys. Thank you. I just needed that short break to take in a lot of feedback and then work on my content to make sure that I meet you people's needs as the channel is growing and as I'm growing as well, right? So I try to post every week, but I just felt like I was dropping videos back to back and you people didn't have enough time to catch up with those videos, so I decided to space it a bit more so that you people can view my previous content before I post another one. Don't be saying I want to kill you now, it's load now. Do you get? Most of the times you guys actually prefer connecting to me privately than in the comment section. That's fine too. And I'm sorry, next time if I want to go on a break, I'll let you guys know so that it's not as if I'm not taking you serious. People know you mean the world to me now. Abby. My name is Abigail David Ajay and I'm glad to have you people in my corner. Please, if it's your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click on the like button now or later if you enjoy watching it. In short, it's free, so just do it anyway. And please do well to click on the notification button so that anytime that I post, you're the first to see it and you can see my fine face. I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Wait till we introduce today's topic. I'm sure you enjoyed it. You enjoy yourself, don't worry. It's something very different. We're not talking about events, we're not talking about vendors, we're just talking about life. I love you guys to bits and I can't wait to share. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself. I talk too much, I know. But we'll be starting a series called Temperament in Business. I thought about this because we're all different people and people made comments about the vendors that were posted. What about what you said you're going to talk about business owners and stuff like that? So the essence of my YouTube channel is for learning, for entertainment as well, but also for learning. So I felt like after I had spent the past few weeks bashing business owners, I'm one of you guys, okay? So it's not like I have anything against. I don't think I was called to do anything except business, to be fair. So I'm a business owner as well, and I know how we are different as individuals and we are different as business owners. I also know the influence that our personalities have on business, and so I thought it makes sense to talk about temperament in business. Now when I talk about temperament, we are not talking well, I'm a Scorpio so we used to vex easily, or I'm a Sagittarius, we don't take nonsense. That's one. I'm not talking about birth months and I'm not talking about signs. I'm talking about temperaments. Now if you want to understand what temperaments are, you can just Google it, or well, I'll inform you a bit today. So the first thing we need to understand is what is a temperament. I've already told you what it's not. Temperament is defined as a person's nature that affects the person's behavior. But when I talk about the person's nature, it means like the makeup of the person. Normal human beings are grouped into two types, but to be fair, there's a third type. Recently, everyone realized that there's a third type, but most people say there are introverts and there are extroverts. Then people have added ambivert as well. Today, we're actually just going to talk about character traits, things that affect our nature, that affect our behavior, how we think, what we see, how we say things. Literally, that's what we'll be talking about today. Like, have you ever wondered why you cannot pay attention to anything for more than 5 minutes? Or why you get irritated when you have to meet people in person, or during setups, or during your job, or you have to go for meetings? Have you ever wondered why every single time that you have to face a crowd to have a presentation done or stuff like that, you get very anxious? And that is your nature. That is what makes up your behavior. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today, temperaments. There are 4 major types of temperaments. We have the sanguines, we have the cholerics, we have the phlegms, and we have the melancholics. So in the process of the series, each part will talk about each temperament so that we don't get overloaded. If this one doesn't apply to you, it might apply to somebody that works for you, and that way you learn how to work with that person and not get irritated or frustrated. Basically, every single time, our character traits are influenced by our temperament, our personality. People already know about personality, so we're not going to focus on that. But these temperaments can make or break you as a business person, as a client. There are some clients that people run away from. Every single time you go to a store, or a store that you go to regularly, you realize that everybody is walking away from you. Why is that? Like, what is the reason? So that's what we'll be talking about today. We'll try to learn each personality type, each temperament. We're going to deal with them one by one. So today is the first part of the video. This is the intro, then we'll talk about one of them, and then we move on to more items. Okay, so just sit back, relax, enjoy yourself. I'm ready to share what I think about it. If you have anything to also contribute, I would appreciate it. Thank you. So even though, like I said earlier, there are 4 parts or 4 types of temperament, it has been observed, in researches that they overlap sometimes in individuals. One person may not be just like a melancholic or a sanguine. A lot of these temperaments tend to overlap, which makes an individual who they are and makes them unique, because it will be unfair if you group every sanguine to behave the same. Some people have more sanguine in them and less melancholic in them. Some people have more melancholic and some sanguine. So it makes sense for you to try to understand the mix of the individual before you now decide that, okay, yes, this person is sanguine, I want to treat this person this way. Imagine you were being treated like your sister just because you guys were from the same family. We are all different, we all have different DNA, and we're all formed differently. So while this video is meant to educate us on types of temperaments and how to deal with them in business, do not forget that we are all made up differently and we all have different amounts of spice. You just have to understand each temperament to be able to understand how to apply them. So when you meet somebody, you're able to say, okay, this person is majorly a sanguine, so you work with that. And then this video is also supposed to help us as individuals that are business people, so that we get that, okay, this is how I am, this is how to plan my task in order not to be distracted. So I hope we all learn, to be honest, and just keep an open mind. Make sure you do not put yourself in a box, and make sure you don't put any other person in a box, because we all have DNA, and then some of us are born again, so we have God that has come into our lives and changed our makeup. So even though we have a particular temperament that the human and the scientific plus psychological fields have used to define us, we have the God factor that could have changed who we have become. Okay, so I'm not going to go to spiritual things today. I'll leave that one for later. But while you're learning, just keep your mind open, okay? So like I said earlier, a sanguine that has a recessive choleric gene would act different from a melancholic that has a recessive sanguine gene. So even though they would have sanguine in them, I'll break down each one so you know the definition, what defines them, how they're identified, you know all that. But right now, if we have them like that, they wouldn't be the same. Though they have the same character traits or similar temperaments, the makeup in them, the amount wouldn't be the same. It's just like my recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of salt, and then you now use your hand, that type that you wait for the gods to tell you when the salt is enough. Your own soup and my soup will not be the same. If your own gods did not talk quick, you might have put too much salt, but we made the same food with the same recipe, but your interpretation of my recipe was different, so it wouldn't end up being the same. I hope that analogy is able to explain why there might be a difference even though 2 people have the same temperament. Now, temperaments are grouped into 2 major categories. This is to further break it down for people and to avoid piling up too much information. That's why, science and psychology, they do this research so that we can actually learn about ourselves, so that we can learn how to treat. When people go to the psychologist, they need to know who people they are talking to and what makes this person whoever the person is. So they are further broken down into two categories to further explain why these people behave a certain way. So earlier I mentioned that there are 4 temperaments. Number 1, sanguine. Number 2, choleric. Number 3, melancholy. And number 4, phlegm. So the 2 categories are introverts and extroverts. The extroverts amongst the temperaments are the sanguines and cholerics. The introverts amongst the temperaments are the melancholics and the phlegms. Now, an extrovert, which I'm sure almost everybody watching this video knows who an extrovert is, but I'm still going to talk about it anyway. An extrovert is somebody that likes people, likes being, outspoken, outgoing. Sometimes they're the life of the party, depending on which of the temperaments they have. They are fun, outgoing, sometimes loud, sometimes life of the party, sometimes happy people. Most times happy people. Now the ones that are the guys, the girls, those ones that have like 1 million friends, when they are having events like this, it can never be small. They are large, Extroverts are very eccentric people. They're very sometimes extravagant people, right? So now the reason why we don't just say okay, extroverts and introverts, and we break it down further to now have sanguines and cholerics is because the amount of the extrovert gene in them differs, and what the extroversion does in each person based on their temperament is different. It sounds like I'm speaking plenty English, but basically what I'm trying to say is, for the sanguine, being an extrovert may mean something else than to the choleric. Okay, so that's why we don't just group all of them as extrovert and introvert. It's not that straightforward, and that's why we're not going to talk about an extrovert in business or introvert in business, because that would be too broad for us to understand. It just keeps going, because imagine we talk about just that and then we talk about the mix, we'll be here till next year. But you get the point, right? While introverts, which are the melancholics and the phlegms, are more laid back, more quiet, more to themselves. They have friends but not as many. They go out but not so much. Some of them are actually homebodies like me. I could stay at home for an entire month. People were complaining about COVID. I loved COVID. I'm sorry, I didn't like the illness or the pandemic, the effect of the pandemic, but I love the fact that we got to stay home. So we all know I fall on that, right? But so introverts are, it doesn't mean they're not nice people. Don't get that twisted. It's just they're not outgoing. They don't want to be in your face. They might choose the more conservative outfits, more conservative colors. So those are who introverts are. They are shy, often very shy. They often feel more comfortable focusing on their inner mind. A lot of times they are the creative people that instead of talking and shouting and going to party, they would write down what they feel, make notes about everything. They think more, they use they focus a lot more on the intricacies of things. They are more detail oriented people. Okay, so introverts are calmer generally. That's why I said it depends on the blend. There are mixes that could happen, and even though the person is an introvert, this person can still be a good leader. Okay, so we'll go to all that, but this is just so that we know basically, okay, sanguines, these are there, these ones are here. Okay, so apart from the 2 major categories listed, there has been more research and they realized that okay, human beings are more complex than that. You can't just group them as introverts and extroverts. So they are ambiverts, who are a mix of introvert and extrovert, like they're introverted and extroverted at the same time, like they're balanced mix. Now, while that is a real research and that is something that, or a real term that people actually relate to and identify themselves as, I would like to say for me that the reason why those people can identify as ambivert are because some of our temperaments are mixed, which is what I spoke about earlier. The mix of the temperament is what makes them ambivert. Okay, so for instance, I'll break down full, as in the definition for each temperament. But for instance, if an introverted temperament like phleg, that's phlegmatic, mixes with an extroverted temperament like sanguine, somebody that is a phleg and a san at the same time, that's a crazy mix. But if for any reason a person is like that, then the person can identify as an ambivert. So I feel, to be fair, it's a term and it makes sense. But when we already know that temperaments can be mixed, and that will give out a different definition to the person's personality, I don't know if it makes sense to now give it a different name, because how will we start defining every single difference, right? So how do we start defining, okay, if there's a mix of more introvert to less extrovert, there's a name mixture, you know, it will just complicate things more. So that's why I just want to stick with the two, introvert and extrovert. Ambivert, I love you guys. I even feel maybe I'm an ambivert, to be fair, but it's the two we are going to talk about in this video. To be honest, yeah, nobody can define you, nobody knows you more than you, because a lot of us fake it till we make it. A lot of us fake our personalities to be more approachable. So looking at you, I might not be able to tell what you are. You know who you are, okay? And there are a lot of materials on personality tests, temperament tests, and stuff like that. You can take them. They are not always 100% accurate, however, and they can't be, really, because the human mind is complex. Even you don't know you completely. You will be put in a different situation and you'll be amazed how you react to that situation. So don't be shocked that the test is not giving you 100% accuracy, right? So when you take the test, or if you take the test, if you need information about the test, just send me a DM or send me a message in the comment section. I'll try to make it available for you. There are different types. You can just search it on Google or any platform. You'll be able to see different types of tests that you can take. Okay, so what these tests do is that it helps you identify your dominant trait. So it would help you tell you, okay, you're dominantly sanguine or, you know, recessively sanguine. Once you identify your dominant trait, you would also be able to tell the recessive ones. Okay, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoy watching as much as I enjoyed sharing. Also, do not forget to be kind. Everyone is going through different things, so you can't go out there accusing or attacking anybody for being who they are. They can only be as good as whatever they have gone through. Try to be considerate of the differences, and do not forget to glorify your uniqueness. There's only one of you in this life, and nobody can make you feel bad for who you are, because you didn't make yourself. None of us did. So because they have, or because they think they have a better personality, doesn't make them better than you. You're amazing and you'll always be amazing. I love you regardless of who you are. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll always remain Abigail. Bye.